actually help Lagos get insight on how they can be making investments, because there's so many out there. Sometimes we're confused. Should I take the risk? Shouldn't I? What market plans should I be making, and which should I be avoiding? Well, all that and more, Olisadualima will be sharing with us this evening. But first off, what does the financial freedom mean in today's market? Because I'm looking at it and the economic climate isn't so friendly.
Well, I mean, financial freedom can be defined in so many ways, right?
Right.
But to cut it short, I think it's pretty much understanding the unpredictable environment that we found ourselves in. But it means having enough financial security and flexibility, right, to live your life on your own terms. In other words, living your life without expecting urgent 2K, right?
Yes, go there, right?
Yes, so it's about, like I said, living life on your own terms, not the terms that are defined, by your wallet. But I think one way to also look at it is that there's a path to financial freedom. Right. And I think two keywords that come to mind, one, discipline, and then strategy. Right. I mean, think about it like, planting a tree. Right. You can start by nurturing it with, small, consistent contributions, right? Like building your savings, reducing debts, which is very important. A lot of people actually go out with a lot of debt, right? But reducing debts and making small investments. But over time, those habits pretty much go into a strong rooted, portfolio that pretty much shelters you from, financial storms when they come, right? So that's pretty much the path to doing it.
Actually makes more sense now that you hear that. So you can actually be free financially, but making sure that you're doing that, as they say, with your unagi. If you're doing the right things, putting your best foot forward, then you wouldn't have to, cry when you're making those interesting investments.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with so much market volatility, what are some of the effective strategies for those who like to take risks? How can they balance it and be rewarded eventually?
Yeah, so I think balancing risk and reward pretty much I think it's a battle that it's a never-ending battle, right? Because even so, the biggest...
Why you put it that way now? That sounds scary.
Because something that looks sweet on paper, right? The risk involved, would be great. And then something that looks a bit, conservative, right? You pretty much would not be looking to make too much money. But what I would say is to break this down into granular forms, right? Stocks and bonds over time, help balance portfolios. And what I mean is the stocks help with growth. When you hear people talk about, I made money from the stock market, right? It's growth, right? However, bonds offer a bit more of security. Right, so think about it we all ate native soups growing up, right? And then when you're tasting the soup in the kitchen, your mom is like, taste it, and then if you say it's too bland, what does she do? She adds seasoning, right?
Yes.
If you say it's too peppery, what does she do? She adds is it ugu or something, to just reduce the pepper, right? And that's how investments pretty much work.
Right.
When you're looking at spiking your investment, you think that you need more growth. You need to do a little bit of stocks and take a little bit of more risk. But when you think that this portfolio is a bit risky, you need to double down a bit. To put in the ugu, the mutual funds, the savings, just to remove risk from the portfolio.
Right.
But effectively mixing both, right, will definitely help you balance over time.
I like the fact that you're using regular everyday things that we can relate with, especially when it comes to food.
Of course.
I know you just made me hungry a few minutes ago, but you know what? I'm not going to get swayed. Okay, so one of the things that I like about how you've explained this is because when it comes to making investments, people are usually very skeptical. Okay, so do I put my monies first? Am I going to get burnt? Well, if you're going to be putting or making investments, you need to make the right ones and choose the platform that you're going to be using. So, with that, now, I'd like to ask, can you explain how someone can align their investments with their personal financial goals? Because look at we're in September already. Before you know it, the holidays are here. So we want to make money before the holidays come. What do we do? How can we align everything? I want to go, winter shopping and being in the snow and what have not.
Absolutely. So I think it's something that we all like to do. But what we do not like to do is go to the drawing board and then tell ourselves the truth, right? They are short-term financial goals, and then there are long-term financial goals, right? And I think it's a conversation that we definitely like to sway from, but you have to always have that conversation, and that's because the destination has to always be clear.
Okay.
Right, what you're doing short-term wise could be getting a new phone, it could be, getting maybe a new car, something that you think would, change over time, right? But of course, everyone wants to have a good retirement plan.
Indeed.
We always say, even when musicians are singing, they're like, there's that understanding that I want to be looking and eating good in my old age, right? So for long-term investment goals, you can pretty much try to, like I said before, ensure that your portfolio has probably a bit of bond exposure. Right. And then for the short-term goals, you have to ensure the fact that in the short term you are saving, and at the same time ensuring that you do not go overboard with debt. Now, what I'm trying to say is that you cannot afford to get lost in the stock markets.
Okay.
And one thing you always have to ask yourself is, one is my ability to invest, which is how much money I have, and two, my willingness to invest, right? And ask yourself, how old am I? If you're younger, you can take a bit more risk, right? But if you're older, the tendency to take a bit more risk is, lesser. So your financial goals always have to be defined into short-term and then long-term, and those will help you, align your investment goals essentially, be it retirement or buying a new home or just, wealth preservation for the long run.
Yeah. Okay, for those who are looking at, proper investments, and when I say proper, you're thinking of all those stocks and bonds. I want to have a house. I want to go, on a holiday vacation. Well, having the right investments, actually.
That's also an investment,
Yes.
You're investing into your mental health.
Let's not go there. The holidays are already coming, and I'm just like, holidays coming.
You'll be well guided.
With my pockets, indeed. No, but there's something that, sometimes I try to balance and I try to get more insight on, and that has to do with active and passive investment. Can you help me? Can you break that down? What are the key differences, and how can an investor choose between them?
So I think it's pretty much skill level, right? Skill level, and I say this because active investments just pretty much means that you would be consistently, adjusting, fine-tuning investments based on market conditions, right? Based on how things are moving. For you to be doing this, it means you need to have a certain level of investment information at your beck and call, and also expertise, and of course advice at your beck and call. However, passive, pretty much means you're investing in, indexes, which is like a tracker.
Okay.
Like it balances portfolios over time, and it's pretty much a more laid back approach, right? Okay. So, I think I give you too many analogies on this show. Okay, let me just. But I mean, look at noodles, right? We all eat noodles,
right? Well, not all
and
of us,
then
but some of us.
Some people, I actually realized recently that some people, cook their noodles in the microwave.
Well, to shorten time.
But the point is, you can put the raw noodles, water, mix everything together, and then put it 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, whatever comes out, comes
take
out.
It like that.
As far that it will be raw, whatever, But a lot of people actually prefer, throwing the noodles into the pot, throwing it in, add some curry. You can add more spice. You can, put onions in, because you're experienced. You can cook. But someone who can't really cook, I don't want to call some bachelors, but there are some people who can.
They will come for you.
You just put it in the microwave. So that's really how investing really is. Active is, putting it on, the stove and, customizing your experience. But passive just means you just invest in indices so that you, over time,
just have something to fall back on.
You definitely have something to fall back on, essentially. Yes.
Okay, that's actually great. Okay, so I just want to know. So anyone who's listening now, what's that advice that you would give the person who probably has just listening? It is overwhelmed. I'm like, how can I even get into investing and making the right decisions? Where should I even begin? How do you help them gain confidence?
Oh yeah, a very, very, very important and then very conversant question, right? Because people, I still say this thing over and over and over again. People always think I have not made enough money to be able to invest.
You see, that's usually the first thing that I hear.
I have not blown.
Exactly.
So how can I invest? No, I always say the same thing, right? No one learned how to ride a bike like from just paddling, paddling, right?
Yes.
You wobble a bit, but then you get hang of it. I always say start small. Mutual funds are the most basic form of investment because you get to invest your money, get to save your money and invest at the same time. Like I always call it savesting. And, so when you start with that, you need to see how your money, gives birth to, money for you, right? And by the time you see how, low risk investments help you, build interest, you definitely want to graduate. And I think the last thing I'll say is take it in steps, right? The biggest investment gurus to the beginners of today, they always started somewhere. And I feel like always, even me talking, there are some people that I look at and I'm like, okay, how did you make this? But, start from somewhere. But no matter what you do, always have a goal.
Okay.
Right. And say, okay, if I'm investing, starting with this amount today, where do I expect it to be? And like I said, mutual funds, I always preach mutual funds every day, every time. Right. Start from there because when it's like I say, it's like playing the piano, right? It's like the basic.
The keys.
Yes,
do,
exactly.
Re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do.
Exactly.
So from there.
From there, once you know tonic solfa, then you can play the flute, they play, the guitar, whatever it is. But mutual funds definitely are, building blocks for investments, and people need to get on board the mutual funds. Of course, AXA Mansard definitely has the AXA Mansard Mutual Money Market Fund that, can get you started off in no time at all.
As always, it's an interesting session just being with you, and you're giving us all that feedback this evening, and I'm trusting that, hey, indeed, we'll pick up from where we left off and make the right decisions, especially for those who want to build homes. So make those right decisions so at the end of the day you can retire properly. But to learn more about AXA Mansard investment plans, well, you can reach out to them on their website at www.axamansard.com or call toll-free 0700 AXA Mansard. Their social media handles are also available for you to share your thoughts and communicate. Reach out to them. Yes, that's Facebook, X, or Twitter, depending on what you still like to refer to it as, and then LinkedIn at AXA Mansard. However, on Instagram, it is at AXA Mansard _. Well, till we come your way on Wednesday, because yes, AXA Mansard comes your way Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Well, keeping safe.
AXA Mansard Safe Cruise. Brought to you by AXA Mansard Insurance PLC. AXA, know you can.